David Teems with us again, author of Speak to Me, the voice behind the beautiful words on the CD. Also the author of Majesty, the king behind the King James Bible. A lot of people had kind of thrown the King James Bible away,
right,
if not literally, at least out of sight, saying that the newer versions were much more valuable because they were much more accessible, much more informative. King James Bible was too much like Shakespeare. What do you think about that that argument?
Well, it's valid in one sense. I mean, things do change, but I'm a believer in that lyrical personality of Scripture. In other words, that God intended it to sound other, being other than just information. But one thing, God is not in the business of explaining things. He's not obligated to explain anything to us. But we live in a generation today where we feel like we're entitled to an explanation. I mean, this is the information age. And so I think today's translations tend to gravitate towards information. I don't have time to sing. Just give me the information, let me be on about my business. As we Twitter away or as we Facebook ourselves into oblivion. And I think because I'm guilty. When I first got saved years ago, I do what you always do. I went out and bought me a King James Bible, and I read it through twice. And I still have that Bible. I can still, from cover to cover, all my little marks and all this stuff. And I loved it. And I felt, being literary myself, I just felt this large, like where have you been? Like you meet a person, that you fell in love with. Where have you been all my life? But as I went into full-time ministry, I gravitated toward the New International Version, which is still a King James version, but it's just kind of sanitized and modernized for our thing. But I think it's the newer translations do reflect, probably in the past 5 or 10 years, reflect an age of information. And I think we run a risk because what we're saying to God is, I want you to explain this to me. I need all the facts. That's what I need from you. Just give me the facts and I can handle this myself. When I think if it has that majesty of a lyric, if you read a psalm and you don't quite totally understand it, that's okay. We've listened to songs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You'd hear a song lyric and you're not sure what it means, but it still moves you somehow. Scripture has life in it, and God makes it. He keeps His mystery. Deuteronomy 29:29 says that the secret things belong to God, and those things revealed, those things that He chooses to give to us, belong to us.